system, and we kind of share like similar concerns, and especially from families. uh and like we mentioned earlier, this is fairly something new to education, and we don't really have all the right answers at the moment. We're working with a whole bunch of different agencies and people to figure what works best. So but in the interim, all we could do is come up with ideas, have these conversations, and figure out how we could best support scholars who decide that they're gonna dabble in these endeavors, which obviously, we're hoping, it's not at a state where it becomes a full-blown pandemic thing in the school setting. So, it, like I said, it's a very new thing, and we're trying to work around and make sure that we provide families with the utmost information and resource possible. My mindset and my philosophy is always prevention. So once we're speaking about it, once we're getting everyone involved and doing due diligence, it's obviously gonna help to reduce the number of scholars experimenting with these type of substance. Yes. So you know, just a brief overview. Edibles are, you know, um, it's basically marijuana lace. Uh, kids, they see these things on the internet. They're curious. They want to try it, and all of these things. So it's candy. It could be anything from like candy, cookies, brownies. That obviously is induced with THC, which is the extract from marijuana, and you know, these things, they're very hard to detect. I would say our school do a great job via scanning in terms of like trying to prevent certain things from getting into the building. But like I said, these things, it is so hard to detect sometimes because of the fact that it looks like regular food items that we would consume. So like I said before, it could be things like gummy bears, lollipop, fudge, brownies, anything of that nature. So even in beverage, we have discovered that there's edible. So like I said, sometimes it's very hard for us to really detect whoever is bringing in these things. Um, Also vape pens, right? That's also another big thing that's going on. That's also another thing that students are dabbling in. And the vape pens are, you know, also kind of hard to detect because of the way it's manufactured and the way it's designed. Um, so these things are obviously bad for, the scholars. The vape, any combustion to the respiratory system creates a toxic environment for our students. So we obviously we highly discourage the use of like the vape pens, edibles, and all these things. And the vape pens are basically the marijuana extract that they put into this kind of contraction that they obviously smoke. Also, it's these things are very big on social media, and I think that's where a lot of our scholars tend to get these ideas from, and try to like kind of model it or do it inside of the building. I don't, so these things are very like I said, it's very difficult for us to really detect a lot of these things. Like I said, during scanning, we do a great job of like trying to weed out, filter out a lot of these things. But if you do get in, we are very we do a due diligence to make sure we confiscate it and discourage the usage of these items on campus. Anyone who ingests any of these edibles can experience overdose effect, and some of these are intoxication, hallucination, anxiety, panic, um, paranoia, dizziness, weakness, slurred speech, poor coordination, apnea, heart and respiratory complication, and dependency. So like I said before, prevention is very key. Prevention is the biggest factor. Like, just having those conversations and discouraging students from using these things is key. But if it do happen, like I said, we act swiftly to try to get as much medical attention as possible to get the student back into a good state where he or she is not under the influence. All right, Mr. Angel, do you mind taking over this part?
Oh, right before you go, Angel, any parents, do you guys have any questions? Do you have anything that you suspect, anything that's even that you question a little bit? Let me know so we can pretty much discuss it, so we can work as a community to attack this situation, so we can know, hey, how can we help our students not to do this?
Well, I know a little bit about it. Well, I know actually a lot about it. You know, a lot of parties the kids go to. It is getting around a lot. You even got some parents that are, helping the kids. Like it's a game, but it's not a game. It's not a game. I know a lot, and I try to help my son, tell him, but I don't think he's really into it, to be honest. But I understand, and I'm glad y'all doing a good job. Y'all actually are doing a good job with school, and I really appreciate it. But I understand everything y'all saying right now at this point. So yes, I understand. Yeah, I know what's going on too. So yeah, y'all doing a good job.
Thank you. If you guys have any questions, if you feel like your students might seem like they're taking any edibles, or even if they overdose, it's something that it comes onto you very slowly, so they wouldn't know exactly what's going on, and they wouldn't know how to pretty much handle it. Their body is just kind of out of their own will at that point. So it's very big to prevent. It's very strongly pushed for us to prevent it, but trying to identify, looking at their pens, like maybe eyeing in at their pens or looking at the vape, or just trying to see exactly what they're ingesting, because they don't fully understand. They just think, hey, this is right now, this is 5 minutes, I just want to feel this way right now, and 20 minutes later they don't have any control and they don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, these things are very potent, and it hits the bloodstream relatively quick, and which obviously creates that effect. And like Miss Maxwell said, once even like a small piece of a brownie can have a profound effect on our scholars, because do remember, they're young, they're growing, and a lot of students, sometimes their body's not used to it, so it's going to really have a profound effect on the body, so discouraging and prevention is key, in my opinion, in terms of combating this new phenomenon.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Ms. Lopez, do you want to add on to anything before we get to Angel?
No, I think from what I've heard, I think you've pretty much said everything that I feel that is true about edibles and its effects on our students.
Okie dokes. So let's say, oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to add something just really quickly, that they also are able to obtain it online fairly easily. So if parents just keep an extra eye, just, monitor their internet activity, because that's where my daughter's friend got caught trying to obtain edibles. So that's like another thing that the parents can do to just, keep it from happening.
And that's definitely very scary. Oh, I hope I'm not muted. That's very scary, because buying things offline, they don't know exactly what's put into it. And it could be so many different things that's put into that edible that student even takes, that they wouldn't even understand what's going on at that point.
Right. And the marijuana laws has changed in New York, which makes it obviously more accessible for students to come in contact with these things. You know, like you see a lot of stores just popping up and they're also selling these things as well. So as a community, we've got to be vigilant and discourage the usage, you know, of these substances.
Definitely. Okay, Angel, we're bringing you in.
Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, so hope this works. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
So, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me and for giving me time to speak with everyone. My name is Angel. I am the program coordinator for NYU School Health here in this school. And just wanted to give you information about the services. I know that, you know, tonight's topic is about edibles and marijuana. But I also wanted to share this information so that you know that we have your back and we're here to help students stay healthy. So we provide both medical and mental health services, regardless of insurance or citizenship status. So what that means is we take all students, whether they have Medicaid or if they have Blue Cross Blue Shield or any kind of different insurance. And we also take students who are new to the country, who might not have anything, or if they're brand new to the school, we also assist them to make sure that they have all the resources so that they can stay healthy. We care with students when they're sick, but we also do a lot of preventative medical care to keep them healthy. For instance, we have a lot of checkups for BMIs, which we try to do once a year for students so that we can monitor and see if they need any nutrition counseling or any other additional services. We also do vaccinations, immunizations, so that's a big thing for DOE and for schools. So students have to have like certain immunizations, or if they're going off to college, they're gonna need different kind of paperwork or a physical. So we also have that available. One thing that is very important is that there is no copay or out-of-pocket costs for you. So usually when you go to the doctor's office, you might have to pay $20 or $40 for the visit. When your student comes downstairs, there is no cost. They don't have to pay anything and you don't get a bill sent home. We are located on the first floor. It's very easy to get to us if you ever are in the building and want to stop by and visit us. We're in room 105 and we're usually there when the students are there. So Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. And as I mentioned, these are some of the services that we have. Like I said, we have a lot of physicals for work and for sports. If your child wants to join a sports team at school, they might need a physical so that they can participate. And I know that summer is a bit of a long way, but you know, we want to start preparing parents for that. Certain internships or summer programs might require you to have a physical. And I know for sure getting an appointment sometimes can be a little bit difficult nowadays. You might need to book something in advance or wake up at 5 and be able to call at 6 to hold the spot. We can do that physical here in the school without you having to plan months in advance or having to call like first thing in the morning. We have a lot of availability and we usually encourage students to speak to parents before asking for a physical. We also have mental health services. We have a lovely social worker who's very welcoming to all the students, who does great therapy work with them and to help them out. I know high school can be a bit of a stressful time, whether they're just starting high school or maybe towards the end and they're thinking about going to college. So we can help students manage their anxiety and their stress. So usually we do a clinic tour, but today we have some lovely pictures. As you can tell, this isn't just a space with an exam bed. This is like a mini clinic. And once you step inside, we can see that we have a lot of space for students. We try to keep the clinic very clean. Every time a student uses a pen or a chair, we wipe it down after the visit. And the picture next to the waiting room is one of the counselors' rooms. And you can see it's very welcoming and it's a good environment for students to express themselves. this is another look at our facilities. We have a lot of equipment that we use for physicals, for blood work, for vaccines, anything that you can think of. Um, we probably can do that for your child at the school. So that's another benefit about having a school-based health center at school, is that you don't have to take a day off of work and then take your child out of class so that they can do a basic blood work or a checkup. All of that can be done in school and at no cost to you. But in order for students to take advantage of the services, we just want to make sure that they are registered to the health center. And that can be done by filling out an enrollment form that we have in the school. We have electronic copies, and that is so that we can have basic contact information as well as basic health history for the child. And it's very important that we have that information because we don't want to be in a situation where there's an emergency and we don't know how to reach you, or we want to make sure that we can give certain medications to your child, or if your child has asthma, we want to make sure that we are aware that they have this condition so that we can help them out whenever they come visit us or if they're in school. And it's very important to note that this does not change any of your insurance information. It also doesn't change your primary care physician or your pediatrics. You can continue using that same doctor, that same family doctor, and we actually encourage that so that you can keep on that good relationship, that history that you have with your doctor. You can consider us kind of like a backup for in school. Your child's probably here Monday through Friday for about 8 hours a day. So it's very important to have kind of like a support system while you're in school. I know AMS does a very good job of making sure all the children and all the students are doing well and very healthy. So we like to supplement that and make sure that we're able to see them and we're able to give them everything that they need so that they can stay healthy and they can stay in class. Um, this QR code, if you scan it with your phone, if you take a picture of it, will actually link you to the website where you can find more information about our health center, and you can find our enrollment forms there. But if you would like to stop by and visit us, you're more than welcome to, as long as you go through the main office. So if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them right now, or you can forward them to me, and I'm gonna check the chat right now. Okay. So now would be a good time for questions if you have about the services or about the health center.
Anyone have any questions about what services we offer or anything? If your student has signed up, or if you need to sign a consent form, or asking if you already submitted a consent form, and to note to see if we did receive it, because I know some students leave the consent forms in their bags and they forget to give it on to us. So please let us know. Yes, T. White.
I wanted to know, so if
Mhm.
the nurse find a issue with your child that's needed, a serious situation, so where do they refer your child to? They call I know they call the parent, but where do they refer them to, an NYU hospital, or they tell you to go to your primary care doctor? Do they refer you to someone else, or where do they refer you to if they find a serious situation, as far as if
So
some
mhm. That's a very good question, and it honestly depends on the situation. If it's an emergency, we'll always contact you, and that's why it's important. I'm sorry, there's a dog passing by.
it's okay.
Uh, if there's an emergency, we always do our best to contact you, and we work very closely with the school to make sure that parents are notified of an emergency. And it honestly depends. If it's something that can be treated by a pediatrician, we'll probably call you and let you know, like, your child's here, it's not feeling well. You can take him home, or if you want to follow with your pediatrician, you can take him to the pediatrician. Now, if we don't have an emergency, and this is kind of like a referral for a follow-up with a specialist, we might refer you to a doctor at the NYU Family Health Center, because we have that network and we know these specialists. You don't have to, go to that specific person for your specialty. If you want to visit a different doctor, you're more than welcome to. It's more of a recommendation on our behalf. And if there's a serious emergency where your child needs to go to the hospital, we might have to coordinate that with the school to see which hospital is closest. And we always keep the parents in the loop of everything that's going on. So it's very important that you fill out that form with your most up-to-date information, as well as an additional contact of emergency. And always let the school know as well if you happen to change your phone number or if something changed. So that way, if we don't have that information, they might have it and vice versa, so that we can always be able to contact you.
Okay, no problem. That's good. That's all I wanted to know. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you for your question.
All right.
Do we have any more questions, concerns? Please don't be shy. This is the time. We have Angel's attention. Let's get it all. Please let me know. So let's thank Angel again. Thank you so much, Angel, for giving us some insight on the Family Health Center. A lot of our students go to him, especially to get immunizations, to get vaccinations. We have a number of students that has gotten the COVID-19 vaccination from downstairs, and they have definitely signed up and got the complete vaccination and made it so much easier on parents. We know you don't want to take off days. We know that it can get hectic. Finding a good time to schedule with your doctor, coordinating the time, the students missing class. We don't want that to happen anymore. We have it all under one roof. Let's use our resources.
And I would also say, for working cards, when your scholar requests their working permit, obviously 1, 2, 3, you could go to the clinic, get your physical, bring it back, all the papers signed. Like Miss Maxwell said, you don't got to take a day off to take them to your PCP, do everything there. So convenient. So please, that consent form is very important that you guys fill that out and return it to the health center.
Definitely.
And if you have any additional questions, like after the meeting or maybe a week from now, you can contact Miss Maxwell and she can let me know, and I'll be more than happy to address any of questions or concerns that you might have. And hopefully when the weather gets nicer, we'll be able to meet in person, and I'll be able to give you maybe a tour someday.
Absolutely. In that great, beautiful hospital downstairs. We have our mini hospital on our campus. So you guys, we also have the link inside of our chat. So feel free to click it and fill out the information. There's a digital copy and there's a paper copy. If you want to fill out the digital copy and you want a paper copy, let me know. I will definitely give it to one of the students or your student to bring it home so you guys can read it through and have your own time to read it through and just see what other benefits we have available at the health clinic. And do we have any more questions? Did you guys start thinking a little bit about edibles where you're just saying, hey, what is this? What does this mean? Please feel free to ask, because we're all here learning, trying to figure out what is the next step and how we can get our students on the ball and not on edibles or taking a vape pen or just doing all of this crazy stuff that's mind altering. No questions? No, all righty.
Actually, I do have a quick suggestion that just popped up in my head. I know it sounds a little silly, but speak to your child about not accepting snacks and food from people that they might not know. Because as we mentioned earlier, a lot of these edibles look like regular snacks. So they might not know what they're ingesting, and it's always good to just make sure that they're not taking food from random people or from students that they might not be too familiar with, because you never know where that food came from.
Definitely agree. Thank you so much, Angel. I also have included some reading for you guys to look at, especially an article from the New York Times on just speaking to your teenagers about edibles. This article goes in depth about all types of treats that they may be eating or they might be able to purchase. So you guys can be transparent of, hey, I know what this is. I want you to also know what this is. So if you are caught in a situation or someone is asking you if you want to take edibles or they're not telling you about it, at least you understand so you can act accordingly and they can act accordingly. Having some type of knowledge on it makes it 10 times better because then it makes it easier for them to come and speak to you. We also have another article on the dangers of marijuana edibles, a great article that kind of goes in a little bit deeper that lets you guys see what are the effects of marijuana edibles and the vape pens as well. The cannabis prevention, which is with Prevent First, is a very detailed study where we had not us, but the Prevention First community pretty much went in depth and just went through all types of details with marijuana, the types of marijuana that's out there. It's edibles, it's a pen, it's a vape. It goes into so many different angles, and it's only going to get bigger from here because now it's legal in New York City. It might come up in a corner store, it might come up in your community. So you guys need to know the information of what's going on, because this is something that might happen in the future, that now your teens are, you have teens now, but then you have adults, and you want them to understand what is being put into their communities or being put to give them, that's giving them harm, and we don't want to harm them anymore. Closing remarks. I would love to hear some feedback of what you guys thought of this conversation. I would love to hear what more you guys would love to even hear, what we can even speak about in our FSA meetings. Please let me know. Let me know if any of our general reminders, if you need help locating them, signing them, any questions, concerns, please let me know. Our next meeting will be Summer Enrichment Resources, which is working papers, jobs, internships, all types of summer activities where the students can start looking for them now. So when the summer comes, they don't just put their shoulders up and say, well, I don't know, I couldn't find any, I don't know where to look for it. So we can get the ball rolling, so we can get our students moving and just motivated. The pandemic kind of pushed them off of their shoes and they kind of lost their motivation. Let's get them back on their journey so they can start to say, hey, now I know what goal I'm trying to reach for, and just know that things are becoming attainable again. So do we have any questions, concerns, ideas, jokes, anything? Let me know. Don't be so quiet.
I just want to say, I do appreciate the call, because when I received the email that it was going to be on edibles, I wasn't sure what that meant. And I had to look it up to understand exactly what they were talking about, what you were going to talk about. So I do appreciate the information. I started to have a conversation with my son about it and asked them, does kids in the school take it? He's like, yeah, they do take it. They do that, and they also vape. And he said they do it in the bathroom. And he said it's one of the reasons why he doesn't like to go to the bathroom, because kids in the bathroom are vaping and they are taking edibles in the bathroom. Yes.
That's definitely a huge concern, because vape is something that it kind of hides its scent. So it's like a vaporizer. So it pretty much, it's water molecules that goes into the air, so you don't really smell it unless you're directly in front of it. So it's something very hard to detect, and that's why I also said to look at your children, look at your students' pens, look at what they're just looking at how their behaviors are they really panicky? Do they get agitated very quickly? Do they go in the bathroom and then they come out and then they're like, oh, a new person, like, oh, okay, I'm fine, yeah, I can do what I need to do. Just keeping an eye on them. And I'm so happy that you already started to have the conversation. And look, open communication. Hey, mom, yeah, they are doing it. They're doing this. And you're getting information, because we wouldn't know. We can't go in the bathroom. So that's great.
And families, also keep in mind, it comes in different scents. So you're not going to detect it at all. So, you just got to sometimes just look for it. Look for signs. If you see something, it's about 2 inches long, tall, and it's black, but it comes in different colors as well. So we just got to be mindful and just keep an eye out, because you will not detect it by smelling it at all.
And definitely reach out to your counselors and your APs. If you're detecting something, ask your counselors, ask them how your students are acting in school, so you can get a full scope of what's going on.
And I'm not sure, I'm sorry, my name is Sylvia Reggio and I work in the main office. I'm not sure if you covered it, but edibles come in all different kind of packaging. They look like gummy bears sometimes. So don't think that the candy is just candy. Sometimes it's more than just that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. So do we have any more questions? And yes, Mark Hudson, reach out to your counselor, which is Miss Lopez. She is on here, so you can reach out to her, or I can send you her email also, where you can reach out to her for your child to start looking at a working card. Yes, they need to start working. They need to start paying their key. I agree. Do you have any more questions, concerns from anyone? No? Oh, you guys are so quiet tonight. Ugh. Yes, T.Y. Yes, I'm loving you tonight.
Well, I'm going to say one thing. It always starts from home.
Right.
Because it always starts from home, because the parents, they be having their little parties. They the only one that knows how to make it. And that's how it goes, because I see a lot of things that be going on. And it starts from home, and then the parents be like, oh, here, this, that, and the kids take it, and then they get immune to it. And then they want to find out where it's at. Oh, we're going to go here. Then that's how it goes. It starts from home. So, but I understand, like y'all said, y'all gotta, get it together where y'all at. And like I said before, I love everything y'all do. Everything y'all do. Y'all are on your job and y'all do what y'all do. So that's all I gotta say. And you said you love you do what you do, and I love it. I love my son's school. And bye. I'm not leaving the site until y'all hang up. But that's all I gotta say. I'm minding my business now.
We love it. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. We love your input. All of it.
And like I said earlier too, obviously with the rise of social media, kids they're exposed to a slew of different things, and they might think that's the cool thing to do, and they see other people on social media doing it, and experimenting with it. So, influence is real, the influence is there. So like you said, it starts from home. And like I said earlier, prevention is key, having those conversations with your scholar, and just being vigilant will definitely be a big thing in preventing and combating this new I would call it epidemic at this point, because like I said, I have a lot of friends who work in the school system. I'm always trying to figure out, how can I get ideas from them, and they have the same issue, like it's something across the board that everyone is dealing with, so prevention is key.
And don't be afraid to talk to your kids.
Right.
You can't be afraid to talk to them. And if they know a little bit more than what you think, don't be surprised, because it's something that some kids are just curious, and sometimes, like they said before, you don't know who's passing what around, and then they just get caught up in it. But you have to speak to your kids, not yelling at them, speak to them, listen to them. You have to, because sometimes you got to pick up the little words here and there and the phrases in between, because you'll be surprised.
You'll hear a lot.
Yep, you hear a lot. Listen, don't just hear, listen, because some of them might be crying out. It's out of curiosity. This is what kids do. This is the age that they're going to try every and anything, just out of curiosity, just out of following their friends, and I'm just talking as a parent, because I have 2 teenage girls, and, they're going to try things just to try it because their friends are trying it, or people who you think are their friends really aren't, and they just want to get a good laugh at them and see how they react. But you have to be mindful of the people, the company that they keep as well. And once again, you have to communicate with your kids, talk to them. You know, I'm not saying be their friend, but don't come at them like you're going to yell at them, they're going to get in trouble. Talk to them, because if they're doing something, it's a reason why they're doing it or why they feel like they have to continue to do it. Talk to them. That's the only way you can really get through the things.
Very true. Thank you so much, you guys. I would love to put this out there. If you guys will be open to filming a testimonial on AMS3, on our workshops, on the classes, on how your students are excelling, the academics, any of the above, please send me your email. We will love to talk to you, get to hear what you feel about the school, the good, the bad, the ugly, the fabulousness of it all. Please let me know. T. White, please send me your email. I don't know if you got my chat, but send me your email. I would love to hear your input. Yes.
To Marion's mom. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely have a testimony that I can say about the school. 100%. I will send you an email. It might be long, but I will send it.
I'm Water Miley mother.
Nice.
If y'all never knew, I'm Water mother. So yes, I'm Water mother. So
we love Walter. Whenever he comes into the office, we love him.
Yes, I'm Water mother.
Yes. So please send over your emails. My Miss Carol put my email in the chat. Please send your email over so we can schedule that, so we can meet in person, and we can just talk about all the great things that you love about AMS3. And also all of the links will be included in an email right after this meeting, so you can share it with your other family members and just the whole community. So you guys can know that we're not doing this on our own. We want your help. We want the community's help. We want everyone's help. We want to get these kids to understand what's going on around them, so them as the next generation of adults, they know what to do. Think about it. These are our nurse and doctors. This is what we ask about. They're taking care of us.
Look, Brian looked kind of funny when I said that. His whole attitude just changed. What happened, Brian? What happened? What happened?
Nothing.